I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Like, there's less opportunities in StarCraft to go and do offline events, and because we have some of the best casters in the world already, my chance to do those events is kind of low anyways. I just felt as I was kind of getting there and sort of breaking through, WSG dropped a bunch of events. WCS is apparently not interested in having me. IEM dropped events. And it's just a tough time. Means that StarCraft's doing well though. See how I'll do in the Casters tournament. I'm going to get destroyed in the Casters tournament. I think I'm going to go 0-4. I have absolutely no hope in myself. Absolutely nothing. Bottom left hand side, our blue Terran player of Team Liquid is uThermal. Top right is Systorm Gaming's GuMiho. Diversify my bonds. Well, so here's another thing, right? So my so I tried to start. You guys probably won't like this, but I tried to start doing other games because realistically, I don't think there's actually space in StarCraft 2 for what I do. Like, I can fill some gaps very nicely, and sometimes when there's not a lot of offline events, I can do very well. But there are times of the year where I can't stream because either plays a big offline event, and then either side of that, like for example, Base Trade have a big online event. I just can't stream because I just don't make money. So I thought, well, you know, let's try and get into other games. And my issue is, every time I go to someone like, hey, like, this and this, this and that, whatever. My issue is I can't put enough time into other games while keeping up with doing enough StarCraft stuff. I need to be able to pay the bills to be able to do other games. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I know, like, I'm just basically going on a big old complaint right here, guys, or kind of being like, oh, look at my first world problems. Setting up my desk casting computer games is difficult. But, I don't know. It's a tough life. It's a tough life. It isn't really a tough life. It's just tough to make the right decisions. It's like, do I stop doing StarCraft content for a while, or do less StarCraft content and make less money for a while on the gamble that moving into another game is going to work out? Probably no, probably not, because I don't think I'm very good at being a player or a commentator in another game, because StarCraft's the game I love. So I don't know. It's really hard to say. It's really hard to make a judgment or anything. I don't know. We'll see what 2019 brings. Troopers and 2 Hellions here are going to go the way of uThermal to get started, but then it turns around kind of quickly. Reapers are actually, funnily enough, I always thought Hellions were like the big thing in these fights, but the Reapers really are, because if the Reapers go down, the Hellion then doesn't actually do that much damage on its own. As you see that Reaper hopping up in towards the main base here. And you just see the starport dropping down. Command center is getting going on each side of the map. All of this is getting rolling. Warcraft 3, I mean, again, but how do I put in the time to learn Warcraft 3? Like, you know how long that's going to take? It's going to take an absolute eternity to learn Warcraft 3. So, Hellion goes down. Honestly, uThermal has the advantage here. Obviously, as CC got delayed. Oh, but another Reaper and a Hellion show up, so actually quite a lot of pressure from GuMiho. Coming in. Cyclone locks on, gets rid of a Hellion here. Gonna get another Hellion. The Cyclone will clean this up. The Reaper will go for some information. Ooh, loses the lock on. Didn't have vision there for a moment. We'll just chase around. This Reaper is going to drop. Maybe I need more sponsorships from companies like WardiTV has. Well, that's the issue. You go to companies and you're like, hey, this and this and that, and they just say, well, why would we sponsor you? You don't have the viewership that other games have. Well, they look at me and they're like, well, why would we sponsor you? We can go sponsor WardiTV and they get 4 times the viewership. Which is true. It's not. They're not wrong. Like, it's I get a few sponsorships here and there, but they are, you know, we're talking about not even hundreds of dollars, which is not a lot. Surveying my viewers for the other games they would watch. I mean, it doesn't work like that though. That's the issue. Like, people don't watch me anyways. Not enough people watch me anyways. to play games. People watch me for the tournaments. That's the issue. My viewer base is not that large. My viewer base, or my like fan base, is not that large. My fan base is much smaller than it seems because I get blown up by the fact that we cast big tournaments with big names in them. I've streamed other games before. I've been very consistent. I streamed Fortnite for a long time, for example, and PUBG I streamed a lot. It just doesn't justify the time I put into it. It's rough. It's not even rough, it's just I need to be realistic with what I can do. Anyways, we're going to see a couple of Cyclones dropping down and trying to get a little bit of damage here. See FlyTV taking some hits. uThermal is in Korea, guys, just to confirm this. He is flown there just a few days ago. He's going to be there for about a month or so as well, practicing with the house. I think a laser's flying out there in the next day or two as well. There's two Cyclones, Medevac heading over to the right hand side. And they're going to be dropping in towards the natural expansion to get some damage done. And I don't want to, again, I'm not trying to be negative or anything, guys. I'm just being very truthful with you guys about what's up and stuff like that, because I always want you guys to know what's going on. I just want you guys to know exactly what's up, the situation. I'm not saying I'm going to stop doing StarCraft 2. I'm kind of happy with what I'm doing. I'm not really happy with where I'm at. And again, we'll see what 2019 brings, but realistically, we'll see what happens in 2019, I think, because right now we're good, but again, it's about always moving forwards, and I feel like right now it's very hard to move forwards with StarCraft. Anyways, those two Cyclones got destroyed, didn't they? That interference matrix was pretty good. At the same time, he's playing mech, and a couple of Cyclones aren't super vital. It's one of those weird things, isn't it, where Cyclones are obviously not, not cheap. But it's not like the two Cyclones are going to save him from an attack right now. Last Medevac comes all the way over to the right side, going to be dropping into the back of the natural in a few moments. So here we go. Scan comes down, Cyclones will drop in, and SCV already going down. So this is going to be 3 SCVs again to get going. This time he lifts up and gets out of there a lot faster, knowing there's 2 Ravens, knowing that interference matrix can come down once more. And sort of this Marine at the front, and just wants to be a little bit careful, as we are going to be seeing this Cyclone again just sat out in the center. Final Preigniter about to finish up. It's going to be kind of a kind of an aggressive attack coming in here in the next few moments. A few Marines popping out of the bunker. One Marine goes down. Here you go. Hellions. And moving over the side. There's going to be... I mean, uThermal kind of wants to break this here. He does have a lot more army supply than GuMiho. That's a given. As he sieges up, obviously those first couple of tanks in the front will start to go down. Vikings land on a tank over the far right side. In fact, he lands on 2 tanks over the far right side. Someone just taps out of the game, though. I mean, this was a very all or nothing 2-base all in with me. Tell me to talk about the game. The one time I probably should actually talk about the game instead of being all negative. Everyone's just like, yeah, this is fine. Bottom left, our red Terran player. Storm Gaming, it's GuMiho. And to the top right, our blue Terran is Team Liquid's uThermal. Get a part-time job. I mean, I laugh only because if I had to get a part-time job, my stream hours would be absolutely destroyed. Like, I mean, I already work like 10 plus hours a day. If I get a part-time job, I'm just gonna stop streaming. Like, I just know I am. I don't know. I just wouldn't be able to work and stream. Not with the kind of stress I have to go through of setting up matches and tournaments and stuff, and I just wouldn't be able to do it. I'm not trying to say that it's not a terrible idea. I'm just trying to say I thought about a lot of these things already. I'm not meaning to fish for sympathy either. I'm just literally telling you guys straight up, like, my, you know, what's going on and stuff. Let my SET fans know when I start doing porn. Sure. Really curious to see what's going to happen with WCS 2019. Haven't heard anything. Hope they don't cancel it. Of course they're not going to cancel it. Everyone's getting really kind of tense about WCS, and yet we also didn't know anything about WCS this time last year. And you've got to remember that this year, the WCS system is revamped because the 2017 and 2018 WCS were on the same system. So we already knew at the end of 2017, 2018 would be very similar. 2019 is obviously going to be different, so they have to figure some stuff out. WCS isn't going anywhere, guys. It's just not going to be announced for a little while, which is fine, because they've learned, believe it or not, they know not to do a Leipzig again. Last year they announced it on like the January 2nd, qualifiers January 3rd and 4th, and the tournament was the end of January. We've on its way back down to the bottom left, as you are going to be seeing the comments that are coming up on the natural. The Twitch subscription retention seems to be a big issue for a lot of casters. Does Twitch do anything internally to help? If anything, Twitch makes subscription retention worse. Not in a malicious way, but like, subscription retention actually doesn't really have any meaning nowadays. Because Twitch Prime basically means that you can never take a day off streaming. Because if you take a day off streaming when a month ago a bunch of people Twitch Prime sub to you, you have a chance because you're not live. People will be like, oh, my Prime sub is up, and they watch another stream and they sub to someone else. So because of Twitch Prime, sub counts are already up and down all the time, and sub gifting only helped with that. And I'm not saying Twitch Prime or sub gifting is bad, but sub gifting basically takes a donation and makes it inflate your subscriber count. And so it's very hard to know what your actual subscriber count is or where it's meant to be. And even though it's just a number, you should just look at it as a donation. Like, instead of, you know, when someone drops 20 subs, you should be like, oh, cool, thank you so much for this $80 donation or something, right? Then you should look at that and be like, oh, well, you shouldn't look at it as the subscribers, but it's very hard because your subscriber number is always thrown in your face, and you're so used to, you know, it's ingrained in your brain that you always think about subscriber counts and stuff like that. And yes, subscriber counts are nice, but it's obviously much more important to know what your actual subscriber count is. So, while we're on like 560 subscribers right now, I would say my real subscriber count is about 300 to 350. And that's okay. That's good. I think 300 to 350 is pretty good. But I basically have 200 subscribers which were donated this month, which is fantastic, right? It's a bunch of donations, essentially. But it's hard to look at subscriber count like you were able to in the past, because it is just, you know, one day I will wake up and I'll drop 45 subs. It's not because 45 people suddenly didn't like my stream. It's because a month ago we had a big day where a bunch of people used Twitch Prime, got 20 sub gifts, and you know, that's just the way it is, you know. It's just life. I mean, you can kind of see when you got a bunch of sub gifts and stuff, so you can go live again and stuff like that. And I know certain days where I'm gonna drop off 20 subs or thereabouts, but it doesn't really help that much, because I mean, especially with what I do, there's only so much I can do about it, right? Like, if I don't have a big tournament on that day, then I can't do anything about it anyways. Is it better for you guys to donate than sub? I mean, it's whatever you want it to be. I think subscribing is better for you guys. You get more out of subscribing, you get the badge, you get your kind of emotes that you can spam, which is always very awesome. That's the thing, I mean, effectively I get less money if you subscribe than if you donate, but it helps the channel in a lot of other ways, because you can, you know, you help to grow it. That kind of, you know, a subscriber hype is very true in comparison to like donation hype, I guess. So in general, I would say subscribers pretty much always try, you know, always go further than donations if you just throw in a $5 donation, even if you only sub for 1 month. But, yeah. I mean, again, I don't mind. You do what you... I think you get more out of a subscription. Again, like I say, like, if you also have $100 and you think, should I donate $100 or should I drop 20 subscribers in the chat? I think they're both great, you know. They're both great options. I'm not going to dislike one more than the other. It's, you know, it's all good. They both have different values in different ways. Mighty Ravens and Vikings pushing forwards. Here's GuMiho getting aggressive. uThermal pulling forwards. Sets up a couple tanks defensively here. Both are building a third CC on location. Obviously, GuMiho maybe with a good opportunity to shut this down. uThermal sets up his tanks again. Remember, interference matrices are available. And GuMiho might try and make use of that. Sneaking these tanks a bit further forwards. Just pulling back a little bit. uThermal trying to buy time for a little bit more. I mean, every extra tank is one less tank, or one more tank that needs to be interference matrix, or one less tank that might not be interference matrixed. Tanks still pressing forwards here. This is such a cool little dance between the tanks. Like, uThermal and GuMiho just slowly kind of edging away or edging towards each other. Oh my god, it's actually insane. They're so close to each other. uThermal's going to CGN. Who is going to pull SCVs? He's going to go for it. He's got Stim. All the turrets come down as a response to this aggressive push forwards. uThermal will not get sieged up. This is not a successful attack. Those older turrets are just a little bit too good. That's GG. And GuMiho picks up game number 2 to take